it's review time of this crappy special teams team of the Chicago Blackhawks. Yes, the Blackhawks lose 5-3 to the Washington Capitals. This was a horrendous game on the special teams. I don't know how you have a 4-minute power play, do not shoot the puck, and you let in a shorty on it. You have 5 total power plays in the game, and you do not take advantage. Jeremy Colleton, work on the power play and work on the shorthanded unit. Letting in a power play goal on only one shorthanded opportunity? Yeah, work on the special teams by Tuesday because we're facing the Vegas Golden Knights. It was also, so that's the rant of this game, really, because I don't want to go ranting the full game, but I want to talk about Kirby Dach, how he did in his NHL debut. Yes, Kirby Dach played in his NHL debut. He played pretty well for himself in a first ever NHL game. He was a -1 because he was out on a goal, out for 1 goal of the Capitals. But honestly, for how he played, I did not see really many bad and anxiety moves from the young rookie. He was at 20% on the faceoff percentage. It did drop. In the first period, he went 50% in the faceoff. After the second period, he was 45%, and it dropped from there. In the third period, the Capitals outplayed the Hawks. Even though it doesn't show in the stat line, but the Capitals outplayed the Hawks. Total shots on goal, 44 for the Hawks, 30 for the Capitals. Face-off percentage, Hawks 58.9% to the Capitals 41.1% of the face-offs. Power plays, 1 for 1 for the Capitals, 0 for 5 for the Blackhawks. Penalty minutes, 12 for the Capitals, 4 for the Hawks, because there was a fight. Even though, no, it was just offsetting minors. Then there was a hit advantage went for the Capitals. This is the first time the Hawks did not out-hit a team in a game this season. Capitals, 38 for the Capitals, 24 for the Hawks. Block shots, Capitals 31 to the Hawks 11. Giveaways, 7 for 7 on each side. Takeaways, 13 for the Hawks, 8 for the Capitals. Hawks did, yes, they have the better end on the stat line, except for the special teams. That was horrendous. But they looked terrible out there at points in the game. I don't know what was up with them. The third line was the best line in the Blackhawks of Saad, Camp, and Kubalik. As usual, that's been our best line all season. Dach's line of Strome, Dach, and Kane, that was actually a solid line as well. And the fourth line played well. The first line, on the other hand, with DeBrincat, Taves, and Shaw, it was not the greatest line. It was not clicking well. And I have to talk about this. How many broken sticks were out on the ice tonight? I counted at least 10. Dach had a stick break. DeBrincat had a stick break. Tom Wilson had a stick break. Speaking of him, I hate him. And it was this yard sale for broken sticks tonight. It was ridiculous. So let's go into the goals of the game, or I will keep talking about what happened in this. At 9:25 on the power play for the Capitals, TJ Oshie scores his 7th of the season and assisted by Kuznetsov to make it a 1-0 lead for the Capitals on a slap shot that everyone just left Oshie wide open, and he just claps it from the slot and past Corey Crawford. So the Hawks are down 1-0 early, and no goals were scored in the after that goal was scored by TJ Oshie in the first period. So we go to the second period down 1-0. At 8:25 in the second period, scored by number 91, Drake Caggiula, his second of the season, assisted by number 92, Alex Nylander, and number 22, Ryan Carpenter. And to give it a tie game at 1 at 8:25, this goal was all set up by Carpenter. It led for a cycle. Carpenter steals the puck behind Braden Holtby, sets it up to Caggiula. Caggiula fed it down to the blue line. Blue line kept it in, and then a cycle came from it. Nylander it went right back to Carpenter. Carpenter feeds it over to Nylander. Nylander feeds it for a 1T open net for Drake Caggiula to go right over Braden Holtby to make it a tied game. It was a beautiful goal. I have to say that. Caggiula is a great player when it comes to those type of greasy goals. He goes anywhere on the team, and it works well to have that Swiss Army knife of Drake Caggiula. So at 9:53 in the second period, though, the Capitals score on the shorthanded goal on our 4-minute power play. Nick Dowd scores his second of the season, assisted by Carl Hagelin. This was a broken play from the beginning. The Hawks had the power play. Bouncing puck went over Kane's stick, and Gustafsson was left out to dry. He tried to prevent a pass, and it did not work. It led to Nick Dowd scoring off of a shorthanded goal assisted by Carl Hagelin. Hagelin had a good game, and he did have an interference that should not have led to a goal, but game's already over, so no taking away that. So we're now down by a goal. It was a terrible power play. The Hawks did not get a shot on that power play from what I think. The Hawks just looked terrible on it. On all the power plays, to be exact. They let in a shorthanded goal. That's unacceptable. Especially on a 4-minute power play. The player who drew that penalty, though, was number 77, Kirby Dach. Yes, it led to him getting cut in the face by a high stick to get the power play, but the Hawks don't take advantage. So we're down 2-1 going into the third period. At 3:52 in the third period, scored by number 8, Alex Ovechkin, his 6th of the season, assisted by John Carlson, his 15th assist of the season. Yeah, that's the leading point getter of the NHL, John Carlson. And former Blackhawk, who did not do well with the Hawks, Michael Kempny, with his first assist of the season, to make it a 3-1 Capitals lead at 3:52 in the game, in the third period. Yeah, that took all the energy out of the madhouse, and it doesn't surprise me why, because that was just a walk-in for Ovechkin to just snipe it past Crawford. Gotta watch out for those type of players like that loves to snipe the puck. And watch out from players that love to pass the puck to get the points. John Carlson being the leading point getter in the NHL as a defenseman, that's ridiculous. So we go at 6:05 in the third period. Scored by number 8 of your Blackhawks, Dominic Kubalik, his 2nd of the season, assisted by number 20, Brandon Saad, and number 64, David Kampf. This goal was off a cycle. The third line was just rifling the puck right off Holtby for rebounds, and Kubalik gets a Big rebound right to his stick and lifts it right over Holtby's head and gets the Hawks within 1. So we are now down by 1 goal. Hawks throw out a weird line combination of Carpenter, Nylander, and Kane, and this is what happens. At 9:58 in the third period, scored by number 88, Patrick Kane. His third goal of the season, assisted by number 92, Alex Nylander, to make it a 3-3 game in the third. That was a big goal by the Hawks to tie the game up, but right after that, it does not lead for much momentum from there. The Hawks don't take advantage to tying up the game from being down by 2, but the Capitals take advantage here. At 11:47 in the third period, scored by one of the more dirty players in the NHL, Tom Wilson, his third of the season, assisted by Hagelin and Ehlers, to make it a 4-3 Capitals lead. This goal, I feel like it should have been taken away because I felt like Hagelin did interfere Seabrook from play, and it led to Hagelin getting the primary assist to Tom Wilson, and Seabrook was out of play now because he was down on the ground because Hagelin, in my opinion, interfered on the play. But it was just one of those broken plays. Taves was out of his position. Everyone but Taves had his man, and Taves lost his man, and that was supposed to be Tom Wilson. So the Hawks go down 4-3, and at 19:10 in the third period, on the empty net, Lars Eller scores his third goal of the season, assisted by Orlov, to make it the 5-3 Capitals win. And this was off a backhand shot, 182 feet away from the empty net. So that was a rough game by the Hawks. Dominic Kubalik probably was the best performer on the ice for the Hawks. He had a total of 11 shots this game. That's ridiculous in itself. No other Hawk had 5. So Kubalik ends up with the third star of the night. Braden Holtby with the second star, and everyone hates this guy except for Capital fans. Tom Wilson with the first star of the night. I still don't know why Wilson would have got the first star, because he only had 1 point and it was just a goal. So this was a rough game. Hawks need to clean it up, get ready to play on Tuesday night back in the United Center against the Vegas Golden Knights. Hopefully the Hawks could come out prevailing, their first win over the Golden Knights in team history. So in the comments down below, I want to hear what your thoughts were from this horrendous game by the Blackhawks, and what you thought of the young Blackhawk prospect number 77, Kirby Dach, in his debut. And thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, let's go Hawks and clean up the special teams.